Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. No, no.
It's true.
There we go. We should be live now.
We're back here again.
We are. We're like we live here.
Yeah, but also this specific sort of video each week for how many weeks? 23 weeks. Once this is all said and done, we're like week 19 of this exact thing.
That's really scary. But yeah.
Every week. Stuart.
Hi guys.
Hello.
And you've all joined us almost every week, most of you. So thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. It's time for another prediction video. It's Wednesday. It's the day we put on our clairvoyant hats and delve into the realms of the mystical and predict the future. Usually wrongly, but you know, every now and then we hit a nail or two on the head. So
yeah, you know, I think we've started because Lower Decks kind of reached a point where we kind of vibe with how they were vibing and started predicting slightly more what would happen. Especially the last episode, I got loads right, which is, you know, yay. Because you like realize what they wouldn't do more than what they would do, like where the box may be going. And so this season they're actually being way more consistent because it isn't stopping showrunners, it isn't stopping, you know, writers. It's far more consistent, and so there's a bit more of a, you know, you can understand it more, and twists and or turns.
Well, Olivia Julius is here.
Of course, President! Madam President, your subjects, I mean your people are here.
They think they're subjects, but they're actually slaves.
Wow, you have one thing darker than my one. Wow. Woo!
He throws in $5. I predict that the captain will be on tomorrow's night. Yep. Tomorrow night. Oh my God! Live at 10 Eastern Standard Time for his first reaction. Come join Stuart in hopes to see his puggy. She's under my desk right now, sleeping, so you can't see her.
Oh.
Anywho. Well, guys, do you want to go share this so I can talk to these people?
I mean, I can.
Because we don't like talking with you here. You know, I can be open and real when you're not here, when you're sharing.
It's true. I'm just getting that text string. I was I'm loading up the moment the books. We're going to talk about the Bran, and you know, the moment, and boy, that text string on the shower is not good. Real basic. Like, boy, they did better years ago, especially in comparison to what they could do. Boy, it's like least work needed, you know, sort of thing. It's the least work impossible.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. But yeah. Anyway, guys.
Yes. Sorry. See you in a minute.
That's okay. He's gonna go share right now. So now's a great time to talk about super chats. If you're able to, and you want to get your comment read or your thoughts put out there for us to talk about, make sure we talk about them, because we do pull stuff from the regular chat as well. But if you want to make sure we read your idea, your theory, your prediction, your comment, your question, then shoot us a super chat. It's a great way to support the channel and to let us know that you love us or you like us or you just want your opinion out there, regardless whether you like us or not. It helps the channel, and it gets your name all in bright colors, and you know, we get to read it out, and you know, everybody sees your name in lights. Anyway, or you can check out the description of every video. There is different ways to support us, either heading on over to Patreon/Trekyards to help us on a monthly basis, or just click the join button down by the subscribe button. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That's one of the easiest ways. Hitting the like button. We have 78 people watching with 47 likes right now. We can easily hit 50 likes easily right now. Boom, just do it. If you haven't hit like, hit the like button. You can even send us a PayPal if that's what you prefer to do. Just send the PayPal to trekyards@hotmail.com, and then let us know in the regular chat that you sent it, so that we can, you know, read your comment or question via the email from PayPal. It's another great way to do it, to be sure that you get on the air, your voice, your idea, your thought. You know what I mean. Check the description of every video. Lots of great links, cool stuff, Trekyards, swag, discount codes, a lot of cool, great stuff down there, so check it out. Also, tomorrow is the return of Eagle Moss Reviews. There's a special one coming up tomorrow on the Trekyards channel. There's actually one on the Trekyards channel and an exclusive one on the Captain Foley personal channel. So if you're not subscribed to both, make sure you're subscribed to both of those so that you don't miss them. So anyway, that's how you can hit. Oh, Paul's here. Hey, Paul, how's it going? Anyway, so he's back. Shh, quiet, guys.
Yes. Stuart, we're into Mira Darkling Part 2, in essence. Again.
We are. Yes.
Cool. Kind of. Well, first, completely before we jump into anything else, how much of this episode do you think is going to be 100% Mira, and how much is going to be back in our universe? Like, what is before we even really discuss, gut reaction, how many minutes sort of, or percentage of each? Do you think?
It's going to be 60-40. I think it's going to start off in the Mirror Universe, just like a continuation from last week. Be all Mirror Universe for most of the episode, then whatever's going to happen happens. And then we're going to switch to what's going on with the nebula and stuff in the real world. That's what I think is going to happen. So, and I don't want them switching between Mirror and, I don't want that. So hopefully that's the case. Or I can't see them really starting it covering the real world stuff first, and ending with Mira.
Unless they kind of got it out of the way, unless they start fresh and then move past it.
Well, people are guessing 80% Mira, 20% rest, 25% Mira. So there's different ideas out there, but yeah. Well, I think 60-40 is a good split.
We watched the episode where they save Book, but that was quite odd because the episode felt very finished at the 40-minute mark, and then those extra 9 minutes was like, and now the next sort of episode. That's how it kind of felt. It was so neatly wrapped up, and episodes used to be 40 minutes. So I think it's going to be, 49 or 52, and it'll be, if it says 52, I think it'll be like 46 minutes Mira, and it'll be the last 7 or so. I think 6 or 7 minutes at the end. Just that bit it'll be very, very focused, like bam, 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 bam. We've got the signal. We know what happened. We're gonna go there. Sorry, Maven gives the order to go there, and then we, or even maybe the thing ends with them spawning in and finding something they don't expect to find. We get a cool visual, ends, and then we get the last 3, which will be the burn, very focused back. But we're gonna give 40 minutes. I think at least 40 minutes. Block. Yeah. I really hope it doesn't swap. I have just 40 minutes, just a full Mirror Part 2.
No, I agree, and I like that at the end, the unexpected thing. I called this last week. They go into the nebula, and there's actually 2 ships
or more.
That's like dun dun dun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Bill Barkley, good to see you. He was just over in Rob Burnett's chat. I was just over there. So, nice. Is the registry ISS? I never checked. No, it's USS on Calypso. So.
Yes, yes. But as we saw, they painted their USS to ISS, so wouldn't be hard to redo.
Yeah, very easily.
But, that's. But you should have, you really should have the pennants, the yellow pennants, etc. There's nothing different. Anyway, whatever. They don't care. Whatever. Because I remember that when we've talked about this episode before, our favourite stuff in Mira Darkling is stuff on the Connie, and you prefer Part 2. I like a lot of Part 1 because it's a really good, strong setup, and Part 2 they're kind of not underwhelmed, but they do some odd decisions. But as soon as they start throwing every scene on the Connie and you just are living it, it's like gold. I was getting some frames for today for something else, and just it looks so good. Just the way they filmed it. Just my god. So they really should have had like 2 full episodes, or like how good would Mira have been if it had been like the first 20 minutes NX and then 25 Mira on the Connie and then 25 then the whole episode. That would have been cool. Sorry. Yeah. We're not going back and reviewing Mira Darkling Part 1 and 2, but we could. 10 out of 10.
Steve O'Mac 666. Hi guys, the wife's asleep, so a wee bit of Trekyards. Welcome.
Okay, I think Giorgio is gonna maybe kill somebody. Yeah.
Do we have to whisper because she's sleeping?
Yeah. Wasn't that why he was implying?
Trekyards ASMR.
The fact is, it's gonna be pretty good.
Even though you're whispering, that's really loud in my ear.
Well, in your ear.
Oh, good God, don't do that. Sorry about that. guys. I apologize.
It'll
Anyway,
make
yeah.
Everyone's necks tingle for some reason. Sorry.
Dear God. All right. Well, let's get into the discussion anyway.
What do you think of the
let's see.
predictions?
What do I think of the predictions? Yeah, I think the predictions are going to be great. I think we're going to do a really good job. I give this prediction video a 8.5 out of 10.
8.4.
You know.
8.4. You know. Sorry. Okay. The episode ended quite abruptly, and obviously we both rewatched next time on. What do you think of the next time on and the vibe it gave you? Because they've been quite all over the place in terms of vibe this season.
He continued the Mirror Universe thing pretty well. But at the end, like I said, there was a little bit more of the real world or the real what's going on in Discovery kind of thing. So I didn't really expect that, not necessarily in the trailer, but it's great that it's there. But seeing Michael Burnham at one point, like, Mother, no, like, and she's concerned and not at all like Mira Burnham at all. Like you never think you'd see that from her. You see her in the agonizer booth like right after that, but I don't know what's going on, but I got a good vibe from it. Like it's going to be good. Part 2 is going to fall in line with part 1 as far as being interesting to watch anyway. So that's kind of the vibe that I got from it.
Although what's interesting about part 2 is that the whole thing about part 1 was that she's reliving, she's Groundhog Daying her own life, and she can have these fun moments. I think part 2 will be interesting because the vibe will be very much like she'll be surprised, and I think Georgiou's character will be just blown away by what this ripple has now, like her entire world is going to come crashing down this episode, and it'll be that her empire turns out, which she never realized because she was on the throne, she was happy. She didn't realize her entire empire was on a
I'm always happy when I'm on the throne too.
The toilet.
But if I'm on there too long, my legs fall asleep.
There you go. And you've got some special magazines just for your throne time.
No, that's what my phone's for.
But do you know what I mean? It's gonna be. I think that'll be a fun I think that'll be a really fun perspective of she remembers her time really fondly as being the Empress, but the fact is she was 2 mistakes away from losing everything. And I think is going to reach a point where all of her supporters actually, you know what? I think even maybe Saru's going to kill her, or try and kill her. Kind of, you know, take the what you'd least expect. Like even the Saru character, because he might think that yes, she is too weak, and it is the greater good, because everyone in this universe is evil.
It's not going to happen though, because there's a line in there from Saru, the Mirror Universe Saru, that says, "You'll be killed." Talking to Giorgio.
But you can warn about yourself. It's like, if you continue to do this, you will be killed, because I'll be the one to kill you.
It wasn't like, no, you'll be killed. Like, this point of fact, it was, no, you'll be killed. Like a reaction to what she's saying. So, it's not going to be Saru. I'm just shooting that out of the water right now. Boom.
Sure. No, I also don't think it would be, but it could be interesting as a nice twist of, you know, even the slave who you've been nice to, at a certain point the mirror universe corrupts all. That even the slave who you're nice to thinks you're too weak to rule and aren't good anymore. I think that would just be a really nice sense of, and it isn't like out of vengeance. It's just a case of, oh no, you can't be left in this universe. You know. Like Hoshi, that was a really weird twist at the end. It's like, oh, okay, that's happening. Shit, okay. It can be, because I think, you know, Yoshua would be the obvious choice, but it'd be a bit too similar to Mira. But I do think we're going to see all of our supporters go down, and that'll be pushed to the edge.
Olivia Julia, it's $5.
Thank you.
Time for Olivia predicts Stuart's score. My prediction is 8.5 out of 10 for tomorrow's episode. Well, we'll see, Olivia. You'll know tomorrow night or Friday. Interesting. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential here. I'm hoping that Lorca comes back. I was really waiting for Lorca in the last episode. They kept mentioning his name, and I'm like, I want to see him, because you know that I love Lorca. I love the character. And I'm looking forward to him coming back. You loved the man too. Oh yeah, he was great.
And he threw me under the bus, and you made me explain myself to him face to face, and it was uncomfortable. Thanks for that.
Yeah, he never liked your character. He just says it's true though. It's true. I don't do anything that's untruthful.
And I had to explain to him why, and I have a very good reason why.
but I explained why I liked him, and that was better.
And then
he said he would check out Trekyards. So who knows? Maybe he did.
And you wonder why you got his hotel room later.
I'm not sure I understand.
I'm
Lorca,
not sure you
he
understand
fucked
either.
Lorca. What do you want to? I don't understand. I mean, it's very obvious what I said.
Danny Shields, €5. Everyone in the Mira universe isn't evil. Spock in TOS, Smiley in DS9. Truth. That is truth.
Although,
But-
except Spock still did torture somebody to get information and cause them physical pain, and he almost Tantalus fielded somebody, which means he probably could have in other situations. And Smiley did steal all information from the Ocean database, break rules, and I'm sure he also did what he had to do. So it's more a case of those were people who could do bad things for good reasons.
Yeah.
It's just, a scale. The oppressed are less likely to be as mean, but are still going to be violent, etc.
Yeah. Well, let's do a vote right now. In the chat, spam the chat with this. Samuel, I want your opinion too. Lorca, is he going to be back? Yes or no? Go. In the chat.
Easy question.
Samuel.
Yes.
What do you think?
Oh,
What do you
1000% yes. Just like how they brought Spock in, it made sense. Absolutely. You haven't seen you haven't seen the Stargate movie. There's a Stargate movie where they bring a character back that makes so much sense in the context of the thing, and it's like a 2.5 minute appearance, but it's really impactful because of what it means. No, 100%. I think they're absolutely leading into that. I think they absolutely need to. It would be a detriment to their story if they did not. What do you think?
I really want him to show up. I want him to, but I'm saying no. My rational brain says no, they're not going to bring him back.
Why though?
But at the same time, why? Because he's expensive. He's a big time actor. If he is back, I hope it's the Prime Lorca, and I hope they bring him back to the Prime universe. Bring him back to Prime universe in the future. That'd be kind of cool. I would like to see that. But as much as I like that, I don't think it'll happen, unfortunately.
Although he only did 4 projects in 2019, and one was as a narrator, one was Robot Chicken as a voice. So he didn't do much in 2019, so it wasn't a big ticket item. Yeah, and a short. So he was in Dark Crystal, 1 short, 1 narrator, and then Robot Chicken and Skyfire. So he actually didn't do much in 2019. So probably not as expensive as you'd think.
Well, then I hope he comes back. I really do. I don't know.
What do people think? Let me find the chat.
Me No Other says is the actor who played Lorca on the roster. Well, we're not checking IMDb for that. I don't think they would announce that like that.
No. What do we have? We have no mentioned. Of course he's back. Yes, 25%.
25% chance. Yeah.
Mostly no's, but a lot of very positive yeses. And I don't even like Lorca particularly. But that's not.
I know. I told him as much.
It's like you slapped him in the face.
Well, you should know that people are, I want to be on his good side.
Bill says because in today's society you would have heard something about him coming back. They couldn't keep that a secret. I mean, they kept Han Solo appearance in Rise of Skywalker a secret, and that's far bigger. I mean, and Yoda in Rise of Skywalker. These are much bigger so you can keep. It's not that hard. Like you can. You just don't tell people. That's why obviously you have really close sets. But should I give you like what I think is going to happen specifically with Lorca? Should I give you what I specifically think is going to happen with Lorca?
No. Like I said, I hope it's the Prime Lorca, and for some reason, because he's from the Prime universe, that's one of the they bring him back because he's connected to the Prime universe. I don't know. I'm just hoping for the best at this point, and I know I'm not going to get it, unfortunately. But
what I think is going to happen.
I would like to just. Okay, go ahead.
Because this is before their timeline shift, like their universe swap. So there's only evil Lorca in this universe. Well, I guess normal Lorca in this context. I think, like I said, I think in the context of last week, they defeated the first coup with Michael Burnham, who's the mini boss. Lorca is the main boss, and that's the way these sorts of things go. And so absolutely she's gonna, because Lorca doesn't know this was a failed coup, and so she knows exactly, she's gonna send a signal as Michael Burnham saying, "Hey Lorca, we've managed to take over." We're gonna see a scene where he maybe beams into the throne room. Georgia's gonna be right there behind him with a sword. He's gonna turn around and be like, "Philippa." She'll be like, "Hello, Lorca," and like stab him right away. And then be like, and have like a really like intense 2-minute conversation while he's dying on her sword about you thought you were gonna have a coup, and he'd be really bloody evil. Like he's gonna be incredibly good in those minute or two. It's basically a very strong cameo, but it'll be assigned to everyone in the room, or he'll beam in and be agonizer boost or something. But I think they need to kill Lorca for her to truly win this timeline. Now you may have the opposite. You may have, because she is failing in some people's eyes as the Emperor by letting Burnham survive, you might get an amazing scene where Killy sends a signal to Lorca, and in fact her keeping Burnham alive triggers more people to side with Lorca. Lorca comes in and actually does succeed in having the coup, and the only thing that took was not killing her daughter. Like, again, one decision. Although, as we learned from rewatching season 1, she never says she killed her daughter. She assumes she's dead because the ship ran away and they shot her. They assumed she's dead, but wasn't sure. It'll be one of those things. Like it needs to have, because Burnham's not that important anymore in the context of the main story.
We could see a time jump as well, like where the Charon's chasing the Brand.
We could,
and that's why Lorca's beaming, and all of a sudden Prime Lorca shows up somehow. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I would love to see that.
But the thing is, she would know where the nebula was, because she would know where she was the first time. So the thing she would do is not let him be there, and also she has no beef against Prime Lorca, only against evil Lorca. So the point is to kill the competition. So she wouldn't let him get to the nebula.
But she's not gonna kill Prime Lorca. She's gonna bring Prime Lorca back because she's not evil anymore. That's the whole point of this tapestry vision test, that she's realizing how messed up her reality was. She's not that same person anymore. She's grown attached to these people, and she's going to do her best to redeem herself and die in the process by trying to get more Mira or Prime Lorca back. That's an idea anyway. I don't know.
I don't know how she would try and get back to the Prime universe from an alternate mirror. She'd just go to a different Prime, which means Mike will never know her. I mean, it's not really a good idea. And then even if she went forward in time from that point, she wouldn't end up in the future she knows. There's no way...
it's gonna end up with her dying, and then waking up.
Well, we talked
on
about
the other side of that doorway.
Yesterday episode, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But the thing about Lorca is, like I say, you wouldn't, Well, see, I would have agreed with you if she wants to be a better person, but based on the dialogue in the trailer, she cares about keeping the Empire together. Like, she is here to start again from this point. She isn't here to be a nice guy and stop the Empire. She's here to have a second chance. She may be nicer, but she wants to be the Empress. And all of the dialogue in the trailer says that.
I think that's misleading, though. I really do. I think it's red herring.
But then what's she trying to do? Is she trying to leave the Mira universe? Like, what's the point? Is she going to give up everything she has and maybe can change again?
I don't know.
Now, again, guys, we're assuming this is tapestry levels. It was not real time travel, not real whatever. So we're assuming, like, but we're still talking as if possibilities, etc.
And be you barbarian, speak. Says if Prime Lorca is rescued, all is forgiven. I agree, Jill. Got a few super chats though. Olivia Julius, $5. Is it going to be Prime Lorca or Mira Lorca? I think we already answered that with what we just talked about. Could be both. Could be either. I don't know. Kai L. Wong throws in £5.
Thank you.
I think Saru sacrifices his life to save Giorgio. This gives Giorgio different appreciation for Saru when she returns to the Prime Universe. I would be totally down for that.
I like that.
Olivia Julius, another $5. Thank you. I predict the poor guy at the outpost will be united with the rest of the Federation this episode. That's Sahil. # justice for Sahil.
Yes.
Oh, poor Sahil. I wish.
We could get that trending.
Anyway. Be you barbarians, speak. $2. If Prime Lorca is rescued, all is free. I already read that one. You didn't have to super chat that. Thank you, Jill. I appreciate that.
He wants us to know. Behez Raz says, I really don't want season 4 to be in the Kelvin timeline or universe. It won't. Why would you say that? Matthew DeFreitas, but she went through the Guardian forever, so it is back in time stuff. No, she didn't. Or we don't know that yet. There's no distinct evidence because if you watch the 2 episodes, they're not the same in what they say. There's hints towards it, but also hints towards Q. So, you know, you can't say that yet because it's not the same planet, and not the same time, not the same look, not the same dude, not the same effect, not the same scannings. I mean, it's not the same, you know.
Christian Montgomery, $2. Will she be back in 2257 Prime or Future Prime? What? I'm confused.
Well, I think the real trouble here is that, assuming it's the Tapestry sort of, or you know, other being helping her, how would deciding to be nicer by choosing a different path fix your genetic material? Or is it just going to be the MacGuffin of because advanced?
I think we've talked about this.
Because that's the problem, is that it can't live in the universe and time and universe, you know?
Unless she dies in that universe, and but it's disconnected from it because essentially she dies and then gets brought over to the Prime one because she's still connected to hers. That's why her molecules are falling apart. We've kind of already been explained that. She's still connected to it. It's drifting further apart. That's why it's difficult for her to survive this far in the future and that far away from her. So for her to die in her reality will reset her molecules to be able to come back. That's what I think is going to happen as the answer to that.
Could you explain that? Because I don't know how that makes sense necessarily.
Quantum entanglement. She's quantumly connected to her own universe because even what's his name, Kovacs, said your molecules want to live in the time that you're. So if you die there, and then through the magical MacGuffin of a Q and or a Guardian come back, you can.
But you're dead.
Reset essentially.
But she died.
No, but you're not connected to that universe anymore because you died over there. Now your body here is fine.
So she has 2
it's
bodies.
Going to be some.
So they cloned her and sent her back into an alternate universe. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if she died, she died. If she didn't die, then like
She has to die in her own universe for it to work.
But then how
disconnect her?
But how's a dead woman come back to the present?
By a magical MacGuffin called a Q and or a Guardian of Forever.
But it's not her dying. It's just the Q saying because I'd say so. There's no her dying. It's just the Q is doing it because he wants to.
Yes, because she needs to learn. She wants to see whether she deserves it or not. He wants to see whether she deserves it or not by how she acts when she's over there.
So then it is just Q. The dying is irrelevant. It's symbolic. It's just Q powers, which is
no. I think there's going to be some reason that she has to die over there. I'm telling you, that's what I see as happening. Yeah. As far as their writing goes.
No, I agree in terms of symbology, but it has to be clear it's because the Q man said, you know, you chose. Because I'm trying to think, would there be because you'd have to. Her just dying wouldn't be enough symbolically to say you're now good. She'd have to do something like taking a bullet.
Sacrifice yourself for something.
Yeah. What would be, but also on this grand scale, not just for Burnham, that's who the hell cares. What would be like the scale of thing that she's not thinking would, that she could do? What could that be?
No idea. Trying to change the Empire into a more benevolent state. Trying to change, a whole universe, and obviously failing because she's just one link in a chain. The next person that replaced her would.
Yeah.
But still, like even with Spock, Kirk said to Spock, one person can start things rolling. So if she tries doing that, and as a result tries to change the entire universe or reality, I mean that's pretty selfless, and that's the one thing that I think it would take to redeem that character, the space Hitler.
Although you'd have to assume that she wouldn't think she's ever going back, and therefore she would need to have a plan to kind of.
That's what makes it poignant. Because if she doesn't think she's going back, she still decides she wants to change.
Mm-hmm.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah,
exactly the point.
But then she's got to have a plan to follow that through.
Well, she's the Emperor. She's got all the power she needs. She just needs to play it properly.
But she almost had a coup, which she didn't stop she barely stopped the first time, and this time she stopped it because she knew about it already. She's only hanging on by a. If she shows weakness.
She said to Michael in the last one, from this moment on, our futures are unwritten because she's just changed everything. So she's got enough knowledge to know. From this moment on, I got to be really careful. And so,
And-
yeah, I think that line delivery in that first part one is
Yeah.
important.
Oh god, yeah, that's the most important line probably. It might even be a case that she may now use her knowledge of our prime versions of all the characters, trying to appeal to them to be nicer than they are. Because even Killy, right, was actually quite well balanced. She didn't seem overly evil. She still got to do mean things to whatever. Maybe as a way of pushing towards your point there. What if she declassifies the Defiant data on the Federation? What if she like presses a few buttons and that information goes to every computer system in the Empire? Because if enough people read about the Federation, that is more likely to change minds than just her saying.
In Amir Darkly, that's what Phlox said to.
Yes.
He said, "I wouldn't let that information get out because once that starts to trickle down, exactly, yeah."
Because that would be enough. Because again, I just rewatched season 1 of those episodes, so like that was like they're classified. Yeah. And if you want to be really clever, if I can dare be really clever for a second, but this is not what Giorgio would think. But if you want to be clever as a writer, you could always have her leave on or because the Discovery warps somewhere. What if Discovery warps to the planet where that wolf guy, Tyler Vok, or in that sense Vok, was when he was doing the rebellion? Because remember, there's a rebellion against the Empire, and it's going quite well until they bomb them, and she knows where they were because she already bombed them once. What if she takes Discovery there, beams down, meets with them, gives them the Federation database, and says, "I want to work with you to change the Empire," and then you get to have Shazar back as Vok, which would be fun, but like a nice Vok because he was great. And then that's a good reason for her to get assassinated because now she's working with the enemy. But she would say, "Work with me to undermine the worst parts of it." What do you think? That's kind of
interesting.
Using season 1.
It's interesting. I don't know why she'd stay on board Discovery at this point with the Charon just christened, but
because the sets are cheaper. We've already built.
I know the reason, but I'm trying to think of the reason. Yeah. Let's get to some super chats though. We did talk about a lot there.
Yes.
Olivia Julius, $2, 100 likes. Can we get to 150? Hashtag make Olivia pay. Well, I say 99 likes on my screen.
Me too.
And 206 people watching. So, guys, hit that like button if you haven't. Let's get up to 150. It should be easy to do. Hit that like button, please. Squadra Course, $2. They should upload her brain into a synth body. Winky face. Yes. George Mangrum, $2. Is there any chance we see Mira Spock? Of course, there's a chance. There is a Mira Spock at this point, but I really don't want to. I don't want to see. Sorry, I don't want to see that.
How would that serve? What would that serve? I don't know.
No idea. Could be one of the reasons that Spock was more receptive or to the idea of Kirk and everybody being replaced because he'd already run into somebody from the Prime universe, but he hadn't told anybody. He played his cards close to his vests. So,
well, I mean, to be fair, you could always have a scene where you beam aboard the Chiron. He's one of the scientists developing the Chiron project because he's a smart guy, and she's like, "Spock, oh, you know me, Emperor." She's like, "Oh, God damn it." Maybe, although I think he wouldn't look the best with the goatee. Ethan. No offense.
He looks like shit with a beard.
Well, yeah.
His wolf. Olivia Julius, $5. I believe Killy will join the Co and try to take over Jojo.
I mean, Killy.
Oh, the coup.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that might be because she was so nice the first part. That is more powerful to go that way. Sinisterly simple. I mean, there's a reason why she's a butcher and well renowned for it. The reason she's like a 22-year-old captain who's a butcher and has the Discovery. I mean, this isn't some shit ship. It's not a spore ship, but it's not some rubbish ship. So that's quite a real, assignment.
Yeah, because she does have quite a few titles. The butcher of whatever. I forget them all, but
Olivia, go find them. Say them. That's your job. It's always your job.
Anywho,
yes.
Let's start talking about the screen caps here. So of course we got the old Discovery, which we got to use our old model, I guess.
Yep.
Which is fine, and a shuttle, and we got a Discovery shuttle, but it's an appropriate Discovery shuttle this time, so no complaints here.
Still annoyed they don't bother having any other pennants of the ISS. It's like, now's your chance to show it.
I know.
But whatever.
We got Burnham in the brig, and she's saying here that, everybody can see how weak you are. And I don't know.
There's a lot of light panels in this brig.
There is.
All I see.
Yeah.
And it's a very elaborate looking set, which tells you we're going to spend at least like 7 to 8 minutes of the episode in the set to justify it being built. Because this is a goodish looking... Because they haven't still got the, changeable rooms from season 1. So I'm wondering what this is.
James Aaron says, anyone recall if there's an animated series Mira episode? There is not. The original animated series didn't have one, no. Area 51, $5. Will Discovery's Mira Spock have a beard on top of his beard? He will. That'll be a goatee on top of the beard.
Have a beard on his chest and a goatee on his face.
Just see like the little Empire tattoo with the goatee around it. He shaved his chest hair to be like a goatee around the... Yes. That's disturbing.
Oh, Devereaux. Georgia always throws Burnham into the brig, doesn't she?
Yes. And Sirsta says, does the ISS Discovery have its shuttle bay doors closed? Did anyone notice? They don't. They're open. We'll see them in a second. They're definitely open.
It's like an addiction, those guys. Yeah.
It's like we put all this work into the shuttle bay and all the little things going on in there. Gotta shut that shit off.
Even though it uses render time unnecessarily, etc., etc.
Right.
Weird.
Well, because then it cuts to Burnham being dragged away, and she's like, "No, mother, no!" And it's not like it doesn't feel at all like Mira Burnham. Like she would give her the satisfaction of this. It's like she's dragging her away to be pampered at a spa for the weekend, and she's like, "No, I don't want that." I can't see it. Her being sent to the agonizer booth because you think Mira Burnham would be like, "Yeah, bring it on." She's gonna act tough, and So this is really out of character. This seems a lot like a Prime Universe Burnham. This reaction, I don't know. I just thought it was really weird and out of place considering the tone of the rest of the trailer.
Well, put it this way: there's 3 completely different sequences with Burnham, at least, right? You've got her crawling with an angry face. You've got her screaming as she's pulled away. I guess you've got her being agonized, and then you've got her with a gun in the brig, which doesn't make sense how she got a gun, etc. So 4 very tonally different things, showing they're going to give her, the whole plethora of different things to do. My assumption, though, with this being pulled away, is that she's going to ploy. There's going to be we're going to get a first scene where Giorgio goes talk to her, says lots of things. Burnham has a more stoic, slightly insane "fu." Something else is going to happen of serious she has to go to the bridge and deal with. And then when she sees her again, it's going to be very like, "I thought what you said, mother. I love you. I've decided to go against you." And then Michelle's like, "Prove it to my Lorcaras." And she's like, "No, I can't. I promise." And she's going to push her. And then she's going to go really insane and be like, "Ha ha ha ha." But I think, she'll play this angle because she, these guys are duplicitous. What if I play the scared child card? I almost killed you today, but I'm a scared baby. You won't hurt me. Yeah. So I think it's just an exaggeration of her. Oh. I think it's actually fully in character. Matthew
DeFrida says she's clued. Look, she's been in the agonizer booth.
Yeah.
I mean, but still, the show that Mirror Universe Burnham put on last week was so over the top and so like I'm never going to let anybody see my weak side because it's not cool. I can't see why this character would be doing this unless it's literally like, you're going to go be pampered, or I'm going to make an announcement that you aided me, you tipped me off to the coup, so Lorca's going to be after you now, or something like that. I could see that being a thing, but I don't know. It seems so out of character for the.
But like I said, what if you think of it as she's just trying a different tactic, pleading as a scared daughter, and then suddenly twists on dime saying, "Oh, f you, I don't."
I could see that. I could absolutely see that. Yes.
Trying everything because if she thinks her mum's weak, she'll, maybe playing to her mum card is different. Yeah. I think that's gonna. I'm hoping honestly, I think the Burnham needs to be not huge this week. Because last week we had such a good arc for that relationship. I'm happy with like 5 to 8 minutes at the start dealing with it, and now she's being agonized for like 25 minutes. Then show us Lorca, show us trying to do something with the Empire, show us pushing it forward, show us on the bridge, show us her going somewhere, maybe to a secret stash planet, something cool. You know, I don't want to focus on these two all the time. I guess, like, I understand that them just talking to Brig is cheap, and they've been relatively inexpensive in our season. That's fine. But how much back and forth? You know Burnham is not going to side with the mum. And you would think that Michelle Yeoh would know that at a certain point, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because this trailer has the agonizer. You see Killy being the one that's, you know, using the agonizer. Then we see a scene of Michael lying in the brig with Giorgio there, like, you know, this is her baby, kind of. Are you going to be okay? Like, obviously Burnham's unconscious at this point because of the agonizer, and you're seeing like Giorgio actually care for her. But then we get a shot.
Although, briefly, before we jump away from that, it's weird that the force field's on, locking her in with the prisoner. That's not how you do that. You have guards next to you. So I'm thinking that might be a hologram as a trick for Burnham as well. Like, because I mean, they can do holograms as easily, and if it's on the ship. Because it feels odd.
I'm going to say no to that. I'm going to say it does feel odd, but I'm going to say no to that. I don't know why. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Well, maybe she's dead. Maybe they actually killed her. That'd be kind of fun. That'd be great. Maybe she commits suicide.
Maybe that's in character. That's in character.
Maybe when she pulls the phaser on later, she tries to shoot her mum and then pulls it and shoots herself. Like the final act of punishment to her mum is to watch her kill herself. I mean, and then you can imagine, actually, yeah, if she kills herself, which is very, very graphic, but I mean, dead baby head. If she commits suicide like 20 minutes in, do not think that Giorgio will go after Lorca at that point. Like, your indoctrination pushed her so far, she killed herself in front of me to punish me. At that point, she'd be like, oh yeah, we are going after him with Chiron, and we're going to bomb planets. I'm going to be evil again and nuke his
And that's when Mirror Universe or Primal Universe Lorca comes over, and he's like, I don't know what... she's visibly confused.
Shoots,
and she'd be
dead.
Like, wait a minute.
It's like, oh no, I can't.
No, she'd be like, wait a minute. You're not my Lorca. And then she puts it all together. That might be interesting.
It's a pretty hefty time jump, though. And space.
It is.
But I mean, they do warp somewhere, so...
I'd buy it. Olivia Julius, $5. Hey. Why is Mira Burnham wearing a disco uniform?
Well, they're all disco uniforms under the armor. So...
She's not.
Well, it's the same. It's the same uniform under the armor. Like they're all just additions. If you watch season 1, in the behind the scenes, it's just like they're just additions, which is quite clever doing it, you know.
Yeah. Let's see here. We got UB Barbarians Speak, $2. If Mirror Universe Saru joins Mirror Universe Vox Rebellion, all is forgiven. Yes, Joe.
Yeah, she could always give her, favorite slave to the rebellion. Maybe.
Then we get a shot of the Discovery Bridge, Killy in the captain's seat. You got the Empress there and Burnham behind the Emperor.
Oh, God, Empress. Yeah, I didn't see that last time.
And the girl on the left, that is the original, or the second Arium, the actual Arium that died, the same actress.
Yep.
And
we've got both.
Lieutenant Nielsen's not here. Is she? Oh, yeah, she is. She's at home.
We've got both Ariums in one shot.
Yes, we do. Where's Detmer then? And where's Awashkum? Awashkum's back there at the back.
Yeah.
Well, where's Detmer then?
Detmer, I don't know what her job is on this.
She was on Burnham's side, because when Burnham said, "Oh, long live the Emperor," she's like, "What happened? This wasn't the plan."
Yeah.
So maybe she's already been dealt with. But
you've got Asian guy. You've got
Reese.
Not Detmer. The black guy isn't there.
Nope.
Personal guard's there. Killy's absolutely there. But yeah, I love the fact that Burnham's there as well, and her stance is, I mean, maybe this is they're gonna warp out and find Lorca and be like, oh, I knew where he was because I found him last time. Like I did find him last time. I was just too late. And then she's like, but the thing is, she's behind her. Like you said in an episode, you were surprised that Giorgio didn't snap Culber's neck standing behind her. So what does this mean? Maybe she does make her on her side?
Or it could be a flashback to another, like they're remembering something.
Oh, that sounds interesting, but I don't know what it would remotely be.
I don't either, but
It's interesting though.
Kyle Wong, £5.
Hey.
What I don't want to see. Prime Burnham walks through the magic door, finds Giorgio in serious trouble, and saves the day. I agree. I don't think Carl would let her. Carl would keep hitting over the head with his bowler hat. I don't know.
Do this word search that is...
Or, yeah, read this article. Punch her through the newspaper. That's what I would do.
Oh, that's funny. Oh.
Oh, Detmer's assigned to the ISS Shenzhou, says George. I guess, maybe, sure.
No, I guess she was there. Although, obviously, things can... Yeah, the whole universe has changed, that's the point, to be fair.
Then we get a shot of Burnham looking evil and in control. This is probably like right after the events of the last episode. But look who's in front of her. In the foreground, it almost looks like it's Lorca.
It does look like
it's Lorca. A guy.
Yeah.
It's got the leather coat.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Is that Lorca? Is it? Or is this a flashback? Remember them talking about their conspiracy, their plan?
Maybe. Let me throw something fun. What if Giorgio...
He's figured it out, guys. There we go.
You know, absolutely. Because the context of this face is so, yeah, right. And the way it's edited tells us it's not what we think it is. That's the way it's placed. I think this might actually be, you're right, a flashback, but not a flashback. I think when they go out the Chiron, Giorgio's going to bring in her interrogator, Vulcan, who can mind meld her. One of the few Vulcans that can do it. Oh, look, it's Mira, Lieutenant Spock. And they're not brother and sister in this universe, and so she mind melds, and then he gets to see, and quite violently, you know, as all good evil mind melds should be, and so we get to see Spock torture Burnham. Hey! And then, yeah, it flashes back to her seeing Lorca, and but it tells her the planet, and then they walk straight to the planet, because Giorgio's like, this has to be stopped today. Like, everything has to stop before it starts rippling too far.
Yeah.
And I know where he ends up being, but I don't know where he is now. Because this isn't the brig. Like, this could easily not be the brig, the way it looks.
Yeah. Mark Lawrence, $5.
That's good, yeah.
Oops. Again, no notifications about this live again. Oh, my God. Well, guys, hit that notification bell icon to all. Maybe that will help. I don't know, Mark, if you have it set to that. I know YouTube's notoriously bad for not giving notifications. So to up your chances, at least select all.
But Mark, same time each day and same time each week. So
except for Fridays lately, I've been an hour early at 4 because usually a lot to talk about. I think it's going to continue that way for the rest of the season. With 239 people watching and 128 likes, guys, hit that like button, please.
Let's get
to 150 likes.
That's a bit under
what should do that, guys.
To be honest. That should be more than that. Huh. Yes. Click the like. No, that's good. I absolutely think. And if not, same thing though, it could be a hologram. But she might use a hologram of Lorca to try and get information out of her. And then she's like,
I think it might be tied into the next picture because you got Burnham holding a gun up to Giorgio. This could be they've turned the tables on her somehow.
Who on who?
Lorca is Burnham on the Emperor.
She does look a nice confused, and a guard's. I mean, the guard's not even looking. Like that first guard is looking in a wrong direction. Not a very good guard. I'm gonna you talk chat for a second and keep them out. I'm gonna go back to the actual. Cause I know you got certain frames and maybe a hint to left or right.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Stuart. Captain Foley didn't do his job properly. Enerkaki has to fix the situation. Anyway, so I'm hoping that Lorca is back because that definitely looked like it could have been a shot of over Lorca's shoulder, and that has me excited. I do like the character and the actor, so I'm hoping to see him back.
Okay. So there's a brief thing we missed because it's like 8 or 9 frames long. So this part when Giorgio is a little bit earlier when Giorgio is sort of moving right after Burnham's like rah, rah, rah. It looks as if she's got a sword and she's facing off against somebody and you can see somebody's armor and it may be Killy or Burnham.
Let me see.
And is there more one person in that agonizer booth?
I am waiting for the live chat to catch up. So
Yeah.
see the sword. It's the sword, but
Yeah. That's a very weird reflection. It's like two people in the agonizer booth. Unless it's really just weird refraction of the light.
well, you can imagine there's other people in the agonizer booth. Maybe Detmer is with her at this point.
Yeah, there's the hands don't line up with the movement of the hands. There's two people in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's Detmer and thingy. And yeah, definitely Discovery agonizer booth. Goes evil Pew. Force field face. Now see So when Burnham pulls out the phaser though, it's actually edited slightly more normal than you'd think. She pulls it out of her holster, so she doesn't steal it from anybody. She has it in a holster, which is bizarre as all hell.
Mm-hmm.
But then she points it at the leather thing, the leather person, which is clearly may or may not be. But yeah, so yeah, that must be then a flashback. She pulls a gun. Maybe it's the moment when Lorca turned her. Maybe she's like hallucinating and she remembers that. Because that would be a night. Because think about it, we might not get back to the Mirror Universe ever again. So showing us that moment could be quite satisfying. Because it's definitely not Giorgio, obviously. But two guns and two... Or maybe she drugs Burnham. Makes her hallucinate and kind of relive that moment. So we see the scene from two perspectives. One is Giorgio's and one is Burnham's. And that'd be a nice way of bringing Lorca back. You know. Because, I mean, she's the evil empress. She has tech. That'd be kind of fun. Like a super secret way of making people do what you want. Drugging them.
Yeah. So we get a battle or a fight between what looks like Burnham and the Emperor. Where she gets thrown on the ground.
Yeah.
And we got an explosion of some sort in the hallway, which, again, that looks like it's either Detmer or Lieutenant Nielsen.
Well, I don't remember any names, by the way. I'm glad you're finally getting them after years.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we had Saru and Georgia talking more. So, yeah, the two girls are fighting in the brig. I'm just doing it frame by frame. But then Saru flings the Doctor into the ceiling.
Yes.
Which is not on the screen caps, but it's kind of cool. So there is some epic moment. Gives Saru something to do. And then it's... I don't know, who's fighting here? It looks like Detmer. Yeah, that's Detmer who's in this fight in the corridor. So that's the insurgent. Where there's going to be a firefight in the hallways, like the two sides finally fighting for the throne. Maybe. Because that would explain why she isn't in the bridge. Maybe she's off talking to Lorca. You know?
Yeah. And then we got a shot of what's in the ready room, I guess, of Discovery with Burnham.
Looking
again,
odd.
Pretty smug.
But not like scared, as if, oh, I know what's coming.
No.
It's weird. It's a weird expression.
No, it's definitely like a flashback or something. And then we get Discovery with the shuttle bay door open, approaching a planet with rings.
And it warps out rather nicely with all the stars. Ah, there's a ship in the background.
There is too. Oh.
Impossible to tell, but probably...
It's not the Baran, that's for sure.
Oh, I don't know. It's too small, though.
I don't think it's the Baran.
It's a lovely-looking planet nebula system, though. I don't know why the shuttleway's open, but, I mean, they never know why.
It's just a joke at this point.
It is. It is. It's like the Picard maneuver, or it's like the Riker maneuver. It's like, oh, it's just something they do. But yeah, it's definitely a ship. So do you think that's... Although, let me go back and look at the planet from Season 1. See if it's the same planet that they went to find the...
Okay.
The wolf
Well,
food.
the voiceover here is odd, though, because it's the Empress, and she's saying, I've seen your potential,
Yes.
talking to Michael, I guess,
Yeah.
and what it can be, and it's luminous. This whatever can be luminous. It's like, okay. Let's see exactly if I can get what she's saying here.
And I don't quite buy that, you know, she'll try, like, there's only a certain amount of time you can engage, try and convince them to be good, etc.
Yeah.
I don't
Let
know.
me hear what she says here. Hold on.
And yes, Detmer's on the Shinjo. So I guess Detmer's just like Burnham's second in command sort of thing. Let's see. Do we even see the planet they warp to? Maybe we don't. Maybe they just go to it and they don't bother showing us.
I've seen who you can be, Michael. I've seen what this world can be, and it is luminous.
Yeah, sure.
So which world is she talking about? Is it literally this planet? Is it this universe? Is it... Because this sounds an awful lot... This seems and feels an awful lot like Mira or Prime Kirk talking to Mira Spock. Like, one man can make a difference. You could be that change. You know,
Yeah.
It sounds like that speech.
Yeah.
And there's no way you're going to talk Michael Burnham,
No.
Mirror Universe Michael Burnham, into changing her ways.
No, I don't see that for a second.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at what point do you stop trying? You know?
I don't know, because right after that scene in the trailer, it goes to our regular universe.
Abruptly, I should say.
Yes.
But only for 2 shots. Then we're back in it again. It's like, okay.
Yeah, because it is Mayor Burnham at the end with the jar full of fireflies. Some kind of
Fireflies.
torture bugs. I don't know what they're.
Or showing her the light bugs. You know, either one.
Truth serum bugs.
Sure. I don't
To
think
get
that's far off.
to get the plan from what she had planned with Lorca, which could be the flashback. Who knows?
So the planet that the wolf dude is on is a blue-green, relatively, or well, mostly blue. So it's actually pretty close. Actually, it's closer than I thought. It hasn't got rings, but I mean the rings could just be out of angle. Although it'd be weird to then include rings. But
Too tough to call, I think, on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Prime Universe stuff is not very compelling because there's it's Giorgio's voiceover talking about, I've seen what the world can be, and it's luminous. But you see Book talking to Stamets, you see Stamets and Adira.
Same old. I mean, it's just gonna be that one scene of,
It-
look, we found where it's from. Here we go.
Well, I think it's going to be Book also, because remember he said he's a pilot and an engineer, so it could be like down there working with them to. I think, like I said, I think he's going to become part of the engineering staff, if not the chief engineer at some point. Boy, I could see them doing that for sure. So yeah, the Prime Universe stuff don't really care about because there's nothing really good going on here.
Well, I mean, yeah, but or is it just more because you're disappointed that isn't the, other Discovery? It's Kelpians, Stuart. Kelpians. Well, hey, we'll get a new ship though, probably. Hey, they might do the Andor style. They might be using that ship.
I'd be down. I'd be down.
We saw that pre-burn, so
True.
reignite your interest.
Danny Shields, like the burn. Danny Shields, €10.
Yeah, thank you.
Kovac had told Giorgio that the Terran Empire falls, and not long after her reign, she knows that the Empire is unsustainable, but she's seen what can be with another path.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because even Kirk said to Spock, which is only like 10 years after this, it's illogical. Your Empire cannot maintain, so I put to you that it's illogical. The collapse is inevitable. So I mean that's something we know is coming, and then it gets confirmed in DS9. So
yeah, Spock tried to make it better. It was better for a while, and then the other powers said, "Oh, so you're not going to keep
weaker.
us? Yeah, you're not going to keep us down as much. Yeah, we're going to come in and beat you all up." But briefly on this Firefly image, I think what it's going to be is she's in the brig after some pretty serious torture, and she's going to come in, like torturing the mean out of her, and then come in with this gift saying, "This is from when you were a child. This always made you smile. Because I mean, they still have tender moments. It's not as if they can't still be nice to each other in their own small context. So she'll tell you, this is something that inspired you and made you happy when you were younger. Here it is, and she's gonna grab it and smash it against the wall. Will be the imagery there, I think.
I would totally buy that because it does look like almost like a snow globe of sorts, like something a kid would have.
But yeah, she'll smash it at the wall and say, "I hate you," and she'll yell it as her limbs are burning in lava. I hate you! I hate you! And her eyes will glow
I
red.
hate you! I hate you! Give my lightsaber to my son when he's old enough.
Yes, and don't tell him how you mutilated me, please. Thanks. He might not trust you if you tell him that.
Tell him that I killed his father. From a certain point of view, it's true.
But mostly not. You're such a good liar that you sell it to me and sell it to everyone for a couple of years until they realize it's wrong.
Have we figured out... Oh, Captain Kurt puts in $5. Sorry, Captain Kurt.
Captain Kirk?
Kurt.
Ah.
Kurt. Have we figured out yet who Giorgio was having the flashbacks of?
That's true. That has not been brought up. You would think that'd be very important here. Actually, yes, let's discuss that.
San, yeah. We have not figured that out yet. That's something that should be probably included in this talk, yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that's got to be resolved before she comes back from this.
Well, because that's the only thing she was flashing to.
But that's a young Giorgio, though. Like,
Okay, maybe it's the story then. Maybe it'll be one of those things where she's talking to Burnham and saying, you know, you killed my son, my cousin, my boyfriend. You know, you were a baby, and then you'll see the same actress that played young Burnham, now she's a year older, come back in Mira Universe garb with a rifle killing San, and she'll be stood there and they'll have de-aged Giorgio be like, you killed him, Burnham. I did it for you,
so proud
Mummy.
of you.
Yeah.
So proud of you.
He was conspiring against you, Mummy. And she almost shoots her mum and is like, but I'll spare your life today. Really harsh, dark scene. Sounds great. You took me off that shit pile and now I'm the Emperor's favorite girl. Yay! Fun times.
Christian Montgomery says San is her lover from the book tie-in. Well, I haven't read the book tie-in,
and
so...
books decanonize very quickly if they don't want them to be.
Yes. Leapod Swiftback, $2. Always fear Mira Swiftback is here.
Koro says, maybe the bugs crawl into her Burnham's ear and make her susceptible to control like they are more developed version Khan used. That's good. They torture her to bring her like immune system down and they infect her with this and then make her see things and then she sees Lorca. That's fun. I like that. That's a good idea. Simple. Very Star Trek.
230 people here, 167 likes. We hit 150. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I think we can hit 200, though, with 230 people here. So hit that like button if you haven't. Let's get those likes up. If you have any thoughts, theories, ideas, things we missed, things you think we should talk about, by all means, consider throwing in a super chat and letting us know so that we actually see it and we'll read it on air. BU Barbarians speak. Why do we always have to talk about Sato? No Sato tie-in is ever indicated.
Because she was the Emperor. Hoshi Sato, because she was the Empress that took over the Empire with the Defiant, probably the most important Emperor ever. Apart from the first one, that's why. Not linked to Giorgio specifically, just because of what she did.
Yeah.
And the fact that she brought a time ship from the future into the past and made them a strong empire. So, probably the most important single Terran ever made alive. And they forget about Archer completely. It's like, who's Archer? He did nothing. It was me, the communications officer, the whole time. How? Shut up. Don't think about
it. Yeah, I don't know. All I want out of this episode is an answer to who the hell Carl is and to see Lorca. I'd be very happy with those just two things. Now, that's the thing. Do you think we're going to get that Carl explanation? I think they have to at this point. Like, there's not going to be a part 3 for this. So I think Giorgio's going to come to a realization or give the knowledge she needs to give or get killed and end up just falling on the snow, Burnham's going to come up. What's wrong? You're going to get some kind of weird cryptic thing from Carl, and then he's going to disappear. And she's fine now all of a sudden because her bracelet will be in the green. I don't know. Quarrel, yes, Brandon. That's what his name should be spelled like that.
And I can still see it being 3 parts, honestly. I think that'd be quite... Because, I mean, the original Mirror Universe was also 3 full parts, with the 4th obviously getting there and then not knowing what they're doing bit. Because I think that... Well, it would also explain why I invested so much money into the costumes. Like, to do them properly, because 3 episodes... that's more worth it, you know. Because that's all the big budget stuff. So I can see that maybe... The first episode, obviously, her, like, re-establishing herself in this world. So 2 is about her... working out Burnham, working out what Lorca is, and trying to like reseed her power and show her strength. But in doing so, she's doing it in a very weak way, like the good Giorgio may do, and people start noticing, and we start to see hints of insurgents in the crew, hence the battle, etc. And she's having to kill people that isn't Burnham to keep that. And the last episode will be Lorca coming back directly, and maybe even like overthrowing her. And her being like, wow, I really was that close from losing everything. I couldn't do anything in my universe. But obviously, like, the third part will be just like with the first episode, half and half, or 30 minutes and 15 minutes. It'll be like a chunk and then prime timeline. And to be fair, though, twice we've seen stuff that is not in the episode that's in the next time on. First, we saw Tilly and Saru, which I don't even think we've seen since. Like, they've never been... on the ramp with the new comm badges. That, I guess, deleted scene of next time on, that has not happened. And a flyby of the Discovery, which has not happened yet, the Mirror Discovery. Both have been things that did not happen. So they very well may be just throwing those 2 moments in as a little, it's coming. And that could be interesting. A full-on 50-minute Into Mirror part 2, basically. And then the last part will be both together. You could always go a bit extreme with it if you really wanted to. If you want to go full Guardian, at the end of part 2, you cut back to Burnham, and she's like, okay, 10 minutes have passed. Bloop, Discovery, are you there? And Carl's like, having some problems there? Yes, you're not responding. And he's like, yeah, so because she didn't come to your universe, all these things didn't happen, and the Federation got destroyed years ago, and Discovery never made it to the future.
That's definitely Guardian of Forever.
Which would be Guardian Forever. Which the planet stays temporally with what you're doing, but everything outside doesn't. And then she's like, "Oh shit!" And then you may get her having to go back into through the non-Guardian to pull her out in the third part. You may have that. Ooh. Again, now it's starting to get convoluted, but there's definitely a very straight line to that. Because then you could have, and then actually, if you did that. Have it be, then it is just a Guardian Forever, which is, if you explain it, it's fine. If in part 3, Burnham has to go back into that point in time, Camilla's had to come back with her, and you end up getting both Burnhams talking to each other, which could be quite fun. Because that could be a fun payoff. And then, actually, not just that, the last part is Burnham's talking to each other, and then evil Giorgio, who's obviously our Giorgio, using good Burnham to find bad Lorca, and that's why that happens, because now you've got a Burnham on your side, and then you have some great conversation, and then they both get out. So that I could see also linking in, but again, depends on the context of the situation. But not that far, like, there aren't far twists, you know?
That's interesting. I could see something like that happening for sure, yeah.
And then there'd be no Prime except her on the planet in the next episode. Which actually I think could work if only the last 2 are ending the burn, because then it would be, I mean, it's clearly a 2-season arc, right? Which is brilliant. So if in the final final 2 and you find the ship, you have a great cliffhanger, you work out all the cause of the burn in the second part, and not even bigger cliffhanger, wait season 4. If you have 3-part Mirror. I think that could be really sharp. Really, really sharp. Because they've surprised us with this. So they could surprise us again unless I predicted it.
Yep. Doug Van Dorn puts in $5 though. the image of Disco over the ring planet is ISS Discovery,
Mhm.
but the ring planet is where they want to find Carl and the door. I find that interesting. Is it though? There weren't rings on the last planet.
Don't think there are rings on the last planet.
There weren't.
Let me go back because that's a pretty ballsy. I mean, to be fair, you could probably argue that Georgia learned enough about the spore drive during Section 31 to tell Stamets she murdered. Nope.
Yeah, plus you need a tardigrade, you need a whole bunch of shit going on to have that work. So
yeah. Oh wait, hold on. No, there is a ring. There is a ring behind them. There was a ring behind them.
Is there?
There was. I do remember. I have just gone back. Well, the planet's a bit bluer greenier, but close. Ooh. Okay.
Could be.
Let's
Could be
say that then. Why would Mira Giorgio go to this planet and how?
Why she would go is to get back. Because she realizes that she doesn't want to be here. She wants to get back, so maybe she can find Carl on this planet.
Past Miracle.
How's she going to get there, though? Because they only have warp drive, and it's on the outer... This is still a couple years before TOS, so... But the planet that the Carl is on the outer part of the Gamma Quadrant.
Well, the rim between our two quadrants, but yeah, that far.
It's still too far, though, for them to get there.
You could argue if they said, which they've completely ignored, because the Defiant tech, we managed to do our warp drives 100 years early, and we can now go 9.975, and then...
It'd still take a long time to get there.
It would, and then why wouldn't you take the Chiron, which I'm assuming it actually has 4 warp nacelles. Okay, so this planet, if you compare them, I'm sorry, you have to wait for the live thing. There is no nebula in the background, but the planet is relatively similar, but they're both sort of blue-green with clouds. Although, okay, hold on. Yes, there are rings for some reason on the ground, but not in space, which actually I've only now noticed. Like the artists forgot. I
remember them in the. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Guys, put the rings on. But on this planet that they warp into, you see nighttime lights in the right hand of the screen, so it can't be that planet, unless the Mira version of that planet colonized it, I guess.
Or just the other side of the planet has.
No, uninhabited. They say explicitly in 31
it's true.
Uninhabited and unknown, like a who cares planet.
Maybe back in Discovery Day, though, 930 years ago, which is where they are, it was inhabited. That they're the ones that built the Guardians.
The doorway of forever.
The Carl of forever. Yes.
You're
right, Doug, though. It is interesting because there are rings
sometimes
in the background when they're on the planets. Yeah, good catch. Good catch. Thank you for super chatting that. That's important. Damn.
And well, actually, if you go one step further to make it more interesting, if you're right, and let's assume 3 parts for a second because that could be really interesting. If you do have a Giorgio and Discovery Mirror Universe time jump, maybe there's like a sudden dumph 6 months later.
Yeah.
And they actually now colonize this planet. She's now gone to this planet and is using a lot of her resources to try and find what Carl is. And now they've got buildings and resources on this planet to try and, she knows that a gate that can take her forward and back in time is useful to her new empire. Will give her the ability to, because if she has access to that, she thinks she can like take the gate, put it with her, and she can go back and undo things if she makes mistakes. She knows a get out of jail free card exists on a planet. She knows where it is. And if you've got if you've got really fast warp and it's still in our quadrant, because as you said before, the Romulans and stuff are in the beta quadrant. It's 70,000 years to get, 70,000 years is to get across most of the delta into the alpha, which would imply that it's 30 years per quadrant, roughly, at fast warp they could ever go. But I could also see a 6-month time jump, and then they managed to get spore drives working. Bit of a stretch, but...
That's a huge stretch, man. That's huge.
But they already have mycelial technology. It just draws power. They have that tech. Okay, yes, the guy's dead, but we know he was working with a guy for the Glen who failed but has a partner, and she would have. I'm sure she would have really worked out everything about my serial network from being the Empress and being Section 31, and so and then tardigrade maybe. I mean, she may have this. You know what I mean? Then maybe. I think you could probably.
My brain hurts.
If you could have a time jump, you could probably force that. It wouldn't be like organic or anything, but you could probably force that and not be like absurd.
Oh, we're already in absurd territory with what happened last episode, so...
Yeah.
Oh my god. Fleetpot Swiftback, $2. 28 more likes. Jeffrey's Tube Monster demands it. Olivia Julius, $5. Is she gonna try to get the spear data? I think you mean sphere
No,
data.
she means spear data.
The Beskar spear. The Beskar spear. Okay, yeah. Is she going to try to get the spear data and hide the discovery in the Prime universe? It's just so complicated of a plot for one episode.
And it wouldn't serve the Giorgio character at all.
No, not at all.
Or the Burnham. Although someone says, "Oh yeah, me no other." Bajoran wormhole. That would skip some of it, but that pushed you into the sort of middle of the Gamma Quadrant.
I never got that impression that it pushed in the middle of the Gamma Quadrant. Personally, maybe it did.
I mean, not like middle, but I mean like reasonably deep in. It wasn't just like the edge of it. It was in the Gamma Quadrant, and therefore it would still take a long
the Gamma
time.
Quadrant knew it was there that far in. Okay,
it wasn't just the tip.
Danny Shields, €5.
You were asking for that though.
I know. I was.
You wanted that tip hard.
Like Spike for the Carl of Forever, guys.
Yes.
Like Spike, we need 15 more likes to get to 200. I think that's definitely doable. Let us know if we're on the right track or if we're just stupid at this point. And it is Carl, Carl, according to the subtitles. So they're having an argument whether it's Carl with a K or C. It's a C. Subtitle says so.
And Brandon says they don't know about the wormhole in Mira DS9. No, they don't, but Giorgio may because she's in the future.
Yeah, she's been in the future for a while now. She's probably done a lot of reading up.
Yeah,
so
I mean, yeah, they have some MacGuffin ability there with, it was the only stable wormhole in the galaxy. It's Googleable, I feel like.
Star charts have it near the middle of the Gamma Quadrant. Okay. Well, this is Jericho says.
Yes.
I never got that sense though. I really didn't.
I have seen maps. Like I was pulling an image out of my head, but it could just be.
Versace says, "What do you think is the possibility that Prime Lorca survived the Mira universe? It was only speculated that they switched and he didn't survive. Nothing else was said. It was never said that he survived, but possibility-wise, considering it was a transporter accident, and that we saw that in TOS where it's just a straight swap, it's just a convenient same place, same time, same transport, weird kind of storm going on. It's very likely that he survived at least for a little bit in the Mira universe, but I would really like the character to be alive. That would be awesome. That's just wishful thinking.
I mean, I just take it by what the situation was. The Baran was being chased by the flagship of the Empire. It was firing torpedoes and blowing it up, and they say they blow up the ship, and then they.
So he probably beamed in for a second and then got blown up.
Yeah, and so he's trying to beam down to the planet where his forces are, which are obviously going to get bombed as well, but I mean, you have a few more seconds of life. Instead it beamed into the other universe. So he swapped, and then Prime Lorca beams into a ship which is under attack, about to get blown up, has no idea what to do. And everyone thought he was dead, so no one found him, and since he's I don't think you could even argue Prime Lorca has the same skill set as Mira Lorca, because one is a ruthless bastard, one is just a normal captain was never special. Like, he was not the pride of the fleet.
He was a good captain.
But he wasn't like a special. He was just another good, he got to captain, but it was only by Evil Lorca who manipulated people who managed to raise the ranks and get discovery. So I assume he died within like 2 or 3 minutes after. You can maybe push that he managed to order this unknown crew to beam him to a planet he didn't know about, but you're really pushing your luck. And even like getting to an escape pod, he wouldn't know the access codes. He wouldn't, No, it's totally unrealistic.
Olivia Julius throws in $5. I can. No, you dummy. That's not it at all. It happens. Anthony Rapp has told us that he loved watching our speculation videos for season 1 and 2 because he loved to see what we got right and wrong. He says he hasn't had the time to be watching them lately, but that'd be interesting. Hi, whoever's watching.
Hello, you're doing good this year. Well done. And Kirsten says season 1, his crew's being interrogated in the agonizer booth. No, his followers were.
Yes.
Not his crew exactly. They never say Landry was on the Baran. Clearly, she isn't on the Baran right now. So, you know what I mean? And why is even Landry there? Who knows? She, whatever. So I don't think Landry was ever on the Baran. Otherwise, I don't think. Yeah. Anyway, followers, not whatever.
The Asvardu Project. Oh wow, Anthony Rapp watches these. Yeah, he watches Trekyards. Him and Mary Shifo was watching our Klingon stuff because she wanted to find out about Klingons back in season 1.
And obviously we know the Asian guy has watched some stuff.
Yes, and Bryce, the other guy too.
Yeah,
the other bridge,
the
other nameless bridge officer.
Who we like. Now, not to say they're big fans and they watch all of our stuff, but they have seen our stuff and knew who we were.
Yes. We're aware of who we are. Yes.
And of our good reputation, which is is more important, I would argue.
Yes. Danny Shields, though, puts in €5. Prime Lorca is Schrodinger's captain. He will be alive until there's no possibility for the producers of getting Jason Isaacs to come back. Absolutely. That's perfect.
Yep.
Schrodinger's captain. I like that. That's very good.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, even with in the Fast and Furious films, characters that were confirmed dead brought back anyway.
Yes, this happens all the time.
So yes.
Well, Jurassic Park. I mean, Ian Malcolm dies in the original Jurassic Park novel.
Right. Sure.
But then he's back for the second novel because he survived the movie because he was popular.
Yeah.
So it happens. It's been known to happen. Olivia Julius throws in $2. You're just mad. Mary Wiseman isn't watching. I am. That's true.
Yeah, she did not know who. She was dismissive quite thoroughly. When I talked to her anyway. But they just flown in from LA or Vancouver a day before, so I would not be happy if I was told.
I didn't really talk to her, but I just got my picture with her, so it was kind of like I was the first one in line too. Go figure.
I know you were.
Yeah, I got up really early.
Well, no, you weren't the first one in line. There was someone else that was ahead of you in line by only a few inches.
Oh, that's mean. Many inches, not a few.
Well,
Come on
a few is a variable number, as is your friend.
That's awful. That's awful. God damn.
Thank God Sylvia can't hear me. She can only hear your reaction.
Well, she is. She's well aware of the Tilly love. Anywho. So yeah, I guess that's it for our summation. I don't know what else is going to happen. I mean, I'm just hoping to see the Lorca. I want an answer to who Carl is.
Or at least enough of a strong hint to be like, oh yeah. Like clicking his fingers once. Something simple that he doesn't have to say I'm the Q, but, in the effect, he doesn't need to tell the audience, just not tell the characters is fine.
Versace, even though it's spelt wrong. Sorry. He said that's how it's pronounced in one of my other lives. So $10. You got 10 seconds. Give us a hot take on how the season and series ends. Oh, good God. The season ends with a cliffhanger of a discovery and a nebula. Calypso. Ding. How the series ends. Ooh. They go back. They have to go back in time and correct everything because everything is wrong. And they do, and boom, we get flashed forward into TOS time, and you see like a real Constitution class fly by. That's the end. There you go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how this season's going to end, but hot take of how the franchise Discovery could end. You could have Michael Burnham as an old lady with Book travel back in time and go see Ethan Peck in Wrath Khan's Spock before he dies. And unknowing that they're them, they say, we're very proud of you for all your work as an ambassador, as a captain, whatever. And then they hug, and then she leaves, and then you never see her again. So, siblings, and she gets hit by the Sarek as well. Yeah, she travels back in time 2 times. Once to see Sarek on his deathbed, and once to see Spock on his deathbed, or whatever.
You gotta think. I was thinking about this the other day. Some people had said that maybe Picard's consciousness got downloaded from his whatever body. He mind melded with Sarek, who mind melded with Spock, who mind melded with Kirk, who mind melded with. So there's all these different memories and people inside of Picard. Anyway, I just thought that's an interesting concept for somebody. There you go.
Yeah.
Caboodle fish. You got all the important people mind melded together. Caboodle fish, 2 pounds. What if Discovery is the sphere? Ooh. Because they said it's like 100,000 years old or something that has been traveling around the galaxy and now has no shape. That's very interesting.
And then you can explain why the sphere does what it does, because it knows what's going to happen, and it's kind of self.
And why it merges with the computer so well.
Because it is the computer, it has to re-evolve the computer, which takes on 1,000 years to re-evolve itself into itself.
Or it has to devolve itself to talk to the computer.
Well, yeah. The only problem with that, though, which is a fun theory, although it's weird as all hell, and it makes the whole thing a fun MacGuffin within a MacGuffin. The problem is that we know that in every other universe, the sphere data was not found by Discovery, because it was until Michael Burnham's mum changed time to stop control. In the original timeline, the sphere data was just sphere data travelled, found by Starfleet at some point in the future, and it allowed control that can evolve and kill the universe. Stupid plot. And only because they moved it did it become linked to Discovery. So it was never linked to Discovery before that. So it would only work if the fresh timeline is the only real timeline, but that wasn't real timeline, so no.
Jeff Jacobs, $2. Yes, 200. We need to get to 300. Hit like, make us pay. Well, we're at 200 likes. That's awesome. I expect to get 215. At least another 15 would be great. Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2, 200 likes. Woohoo! Mira Swiftback is happy now. Thought Mira Swiftback was never happy. And Olivia Julius throws in $5. Hit like. Mira Swiftback is meaner than Mira Jeffries' tube monster. Oh.
And I'll be honest, guys, we're only $22 away from a decent round number. Only $22. Mm-hmm. And we have got a few recently super chats. So $22 is all we need. We can be happy. We can be content. I think this was a really fun discussion. I think we did actually find a few really nice nuggets of what could be. I think
we always do. It's fun.
Yeah. And it's tricky because it is a very fast-paced trailer, and because it all kind of is in the same feeling set, I think it gives you a false sense of they don't really do anything, which we have had before, and they do often surprise us.
Yeah.
This year, in a good way. So I think it'll have to be more than we think.
Terra Firma. Long live the Empire. Yes, long live the Empire. Caboodlefish, but Disco never traveled forward and became made programmable matter until Burnham's mom intervened, right? So it works that in the non-time travel universe, the sphere didn't exist. Sure. Fleetpaw Swiftback says Terra Eterna. Yes, Terra Eterna. Yeah, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised by this episode, though, because the trailer is kind of underwhelming when you watch it, but breaking down a lot of what we see there, I love the little things we speculate on, because we've such an intricate tapestry that they just don't think about.
Well, I mean, they've got a direction they're going, and we have only a few little bite-sized bits of information. So it makes sense that it would be tricky to,
And Pixie Doodle says Anti-Trekker hates the last episode already. What? The last episode of this season already? What? Why?
That's impressive. Tell us how you got the link.
Caboodlefish must have understood Samuel's points. Sorry. Misunderstood Samuel's point.
That's okay.
Maybe that's how the series ends, with the whole thing being a casual... I don't think you mean casual loop. Causal loop?
Causation loop.
Yes. Versace, what does a dilithium nursery imply? That dilithium is a renewable source? Dilithium nursery to me implies like a young planet that's just forming, that's going to be heavy in rich in dilithium. because we know a lot of planets are, like their crusts are made of dilithium, which is quite unstable actually, because we do have an episode about dilithium where we kind of get into that. But yeah, I would just assume it's a forming planet, especially in the heart of a nebula. All the gases are coming together to form a planet, and that's kind of the implication there, I think.
And for me, I took it as gas and energy and matter that is of, the building blocks of dilithium, and they know that this is something to watch because in a long time this would form asteroids or raw dilithium plasma, something. The compounds are here, and they're presumably thinking, well, can we speed up this natural thing that will take thousands of years? Well, the raw materials are here. If we can create them, and if we can potentially then use that, to make it even better somehow. Yeah.
And if we Genesis device it and use proto-matter, which is highly unstable, it might cause the burn.
We said this. It could be we said this. It would be brilliant if they spore in, and it's not a nebula, it's a planet. And they say, what happened? And they say, not sure. And we're like, oh.
Yeah, well, I think there's going to be people in stasis on that ship. Kelpians.
We've always seen it'll be the exact same ship set as they already showed us in the seed ship, because it was filled with greenery, and that's A-OK. Same thing as well. And they might even have, wouldn't it be kind of hilarious if we see a flashback, and this is like really going off on a side tangent. We need four more bucks, guys, only 4, as I finish my tangent. If we see a flashback of Saru looking at the lady, this head scientist, and that she died and was sent in a torpedo and was flung into the dilithium planet, and it's just like same visual. Yeah, and then it calls that. Yeah, and there you go. Saru's person caused the burn by being in a torpedo. The dead body in a dilithium-rich nebula Genesis planet caused the burn. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
Raverbane, $10. Wistfully thinking, if the Emperor did change a series of events, perhaps she doesn't blow up the Baran, allowing Prime Market to live. Hey, that's interesting.
Oh, sure. No, I could see. If we establish that they can do a time jump, then I could see her being very logical in that she has the same events to let Lorca do his thing, to then get Prime Lorca in. She beams him in, explains him situation, says, I need you to pretend to be evil Lorca so I can use you to turn this rebellion on my side. Will you do that? He's like, Problem is that you assume that Burnham and people are going to move to kill Burnham and or the Emperor within hours or days. The movie universe doesn't work in weeks and months, So a time jump without either killing Michael or sending off the ship or whatever would be very odd, because she wouldn't willingly rot in that prison cell for months. Wouldn't feel Mira appropriate. But I could see if they establish time jump, then getting Prime Lorca on side.
That's interesting. I like that. That's a good take on it, actually.
But you'd still need the exact same events to have him escape to the nebula and still attack the ship to have him beam at the exact time. Remember, that was a 1 in a billion event. You'd have to replicate, given the amount of ripples you've now done. That's hard. That's real hard. You can't just do it, And then besides, you'd never be able to get revenge on the guy that poisoned your daughter. That's the point. That's why I see getting Lorca physically back, because she never got to talk to Burnham about the betrayal, which is why it's super interesting to hear her talk about it. So she's never been face to face with why. And there's a great reason why. So now she needs to be face to face with the guy that converted her, because even in season 1, all we got was one or two scenes in the throne room where we think he's good Lorca, and then they kill him at the end. There's no real interaction beyond a little bit. It's not satisfying because they've not been built up. So you need that conversation,
Mm-hmm.
4 more bucks.
Captain Kurt, $5.
There you go.
Series ends with Riker in a holodeck watching a what-if story of a backwards timeline.
Sure, on the Titan or on the on his own planet, yeah.
On the Titan, and it's going to be animated, like. And
then the real kicker is the hollow disguise vanishes, and it turns out it was Mariner playing Burnham the whole time. That's why she's such a kick-ass similar character.
Oh.
She was having fun with it the whole time, and Riker's like, "Really? You wanted to play Burnham, did you? What? She's awesome." He's like, And then turns out Troy was being Saru the whole time. It's like, really? Babe, why Saru? What? He was interesting.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I was small in my normal life. I got to be 6'9" in the Hollow story. What? Don't judge me. Wouldn't that be great? Oh dear.
Meta. Yeah, so another $5 super chat would be great. 10 out. Right now, Captain Kurt has the last super chat slot. Fleet Paw Swiftback now has the last super chat slot with $5. We'll have lots to talk about Thursday on the first reaction. Friday for the review. Terra Firma, Terra Eterna. Long live the Empire. Long live Trekyards.
Yes.
Long live the Empire. Long live Trekyards.
Which we have lived long at this point, and we have prospered. And boy, so many episodes and videos.
So right now, Fleet Paw is the last super chat slot. If anybody else is interested, by all means, snipe them away with $1 super chat.
Because that didn't come up as adding to the total for some reason, so we're still $4 away.
It didn't, and it's weird. Well, this has been glitchy for like a week now.
Yeah. So $5 again?
No, it's fine. It's
okay.
Fine.
Okay.
But no, if anybody wants the last super chat slot, we'll give it like a minute or two, and then we will head on out. If you guys have any other things you want us to talk about, though, feel free to let us know.
This was good. This was good.
I am excited. I'm excited. Me, no other. Michael Burnham is the Mira Beckett Mariner. MB equals BM.
I mean,
very good point.
There you go. Confirmed.
Yes.
What more do you want or need?
That's great, actually.
I mean, it also says the same character's better. I mean, it's just a better Michael Burnham. It's weird. Weird, but true.
Versace says, what I don't get is how Benamite is so rare for Slipstream, but the race that used Slipstream and Voyager had entire fleets of ships that used it, and also Voyager was able to synthesize it a bit slowly. Well, yeah, it's never explained, unfortunately. The different FTL drives and how they were so abundant throughout TNG and Voyager, and now they're just...
Although it's pretty easy. They didn't use Benamite. That's the Federation transwarp, not their transwarp. Done.
Yeah.
Like, it is that easy, you know. Different techs, you know. Different versions of the same tech. Yeah. But no, like I said at the start, I think we're going to have 40 minutes in Mira, 10 minutes in Prime. It's going to end on a cliffhanger. Either they spore in, they see the thing, or they whatever. Or the 3-parter, which I'm really hoping for. That would be, I think, really, really fun and unexpected. And the first time I've seen a Mira 3-parter to beat the Infinite Darkly.
That being said, we know on IMDb it doesn't have 3 parts, but it doesn't mean that Citadel, the next one, isn't part of this, like a continuation.
And in fact, Citadel would make sense because they could then, you know, warp into the Mirror Universe Citadel, like the head of the Empire. Because you got the flagship, doesn't mean you got the head of the government or the you know, the ruling force.
And Squadra Course throws in $2 for the last super chat slot. It says, "Last, long live the Empire." That updated the thing. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Long live the Empire.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, guys. So thank you so much. Join me tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my first reaction to this episode. I hope to be excited and hope to get an 8.5 out of 10 because that's what Olivia predicted. And then join us on Friday, probably at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the discussion, full breakdown, and review of this episode. So there you go. Until then,
and
he's Commander Cocky.
And as always, watch our individual episodes on all topics. This last week we released Tapestry of Time Travel in Discovery Season 3, Guardian Forever or Q, and Easter eggs in the newspaper, and the new rules for time travel as well. So do go back and watch those if you want, guys. We have fun with them. And there'll be more next week.
And MCRN says the Enterprise J used Benamite crystals. Yeah? No idea. We don't know anything about the Enterprise J, really. Except for what Doug Drexler and us speculated on. So go check out those episodes. And until next time, he's Commander Cocky.
He's Commander Hurley. And she's Eagle Burnham. Scowling. Burning canvas. Way.
Bye, guys. Hope you see you.